हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू देसी इन कनाडा। एक बार फिर आपका दोस्त अहमद कुरैशी आपके साथ। आज की वीडियो में हम उस टॉपिक को डिस्कस करेंगे जिसको बहुत लोग डिस्कस करते हुए घबरा रहे हैं। वो क्या ऐसा रीज़न है जिसकी वजह से कनाडा से लोग भाग रहे हैं? अगर मेरा आप मशवरा माने तो आई थिंक यू शुड ऑल्सो लीव कनाडा एज सून एज पॉसिबल। देयर आर सर्टन थिंग्स जो मैं इस वीडियो में कवर करूंगा दैट विल शॉक यू. To give you some rundown on what I would be covering in this video, number one, racism. Number two, religious stereotype. Number three, your skin color. You can never be white. If you are an immigrant from either Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, or any countries with a certain skin color, your kids or you cannot be white, and people will make sure you understand that. When you travel, you go to the airport, the security at the airport will tell you how you are different from the other people. Not different in a good way, but different as if you are already guilty, जैसे आपने कोई जुर्म किया है. तो ये कुछ ऐसे पॉइंट्स हैं. I'll share my personal experiences जिसकी वजह से I left Canada. Not just thinking of leaving Canada, I left Canada in 2018 for 4 years. I was not living in Canada. I was fed up. I've seen so many things happen to me, to my family. Then I had to make the decision to leave Canada. It was a tough decision. It was a sad decision. It costed me a lot of money. But stay tuned. The last reason जो इस वीडियो में मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगा will shock you and will make you think that you really might want to leave tomorrow. Before we go any further, please like, subscribe and share this video with your friends. I really appreciate your support. Now back to our topic. अच्छा, तो पहली चीज हम कवर कर रहे हैं रेसिज्म. Canada overall is a great country. Everybody is welcoming. You will get the opportunities. But when you compare yourself as a person of color, somebody who is a non-white person, there are challenges. If you can live with those challenges, good enough. Do you want your kids, अपने बच्चों को, अपनी family को उन challenges से आपने गुजारना है for your career? Maybe that's something where you should think twice and make a decision that's good for your family. I'll start with the experience from a kid's perspective, right? हम इमिग्रेंट पाकिस्तान, इंडिया या किसी भी मुल्क से यहाँ आते हैं and we see कि जी there are challenges, there are certain stereotypes against the skin color that we have, and because we have lived our life, the most part of our life in our primary countries like Canada or India or Pakistan or Nepal or Bangladesh, we know who we are. राइट तो आइडेंटिटी का क्राइसिस नहीं है. एंड आई टेल यू व्हाट आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस रियली मीन्स. तो हम लोगों के लिए वो क्राइसिस उतना नहीं है, बट हमारे जब बच्चे आगे पैदा होते हैं जो कनाडा में पैदा होते हैं, नाउ व्हाट दे नो इन कनाडा इज ओनली वन थिंग, दैट दे वर बोर्न हियर, दे आर कैनेडियन. They don't see the difference. It's very unfortunate. Everybody is equal. There should be no racism. There should be no stereotypes against you. But that's only in the ideal world. But the world where we live in today, what media is telling people, what people are seeing alongside their day-to-day life is not the ideal situation. It's a challenging situation. So, बच्चे जब यहाँ पैदा होते हैं, they only see one thing, that they are normal Canadian kids. They go to school, they play with people from every race, every culture, every background, and that's good. This is how it should be. But in reality, what happens is they can never be a white kid. Real example, स्कूल में एक यहाँ पे ELA English language की एक additional class होती है for new immigrants. That is a good option for somebody who, a kid जो नया कनाडा में आया है, उसको इंग्लिश बोलने में प्रॉब्लम है, तो उसके लिए तो वो अच्छी चीज़ है. लेकिन हो क्या रहा है, पर्सनली मेरे साथ, मेरे बच्चों के साथ ऐसा हुआ, even though they were born Canadian, their first language is English. हम घर में कोशिश करते हैं कि वो उर्दू बोलें, but they don't. Even then, उनके स्कूल ने उनको पिक करके ELA में डाल दिया. Now that's how old are they, like 7, 8, 9 years old, 10 years old? So at that point उनके mind में ये चीज़ आ गई, okay, somehow I'm different. That's the first shock for them. I mean, there's a differentiation between my kids and a non-colored, a white kid in Canada based on the skin color. Not because my kids cannot speak English, as I said, that's their primary language, but they were picked for that class because of their skin color. Now, there's a lot of reasons, because schools get funding because of how many kids they enroll in the ELA, in the English language course. They get funded. But for them to get funding, they are using my kids as a bait, right? To show, okay, this is a brown kid, irrespective कि उसको English आती है कि नहीं, he was picked and pulled into that class. Second example, और ये कुछ examples मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, but this is a challenge that day-to-day people here are living with. My friend's kid they were in the class, they were talking about World War II का कोई कोर्स चल रहा था उनकी क्लास में. Teacher was talking about World War II. My friend who likes to shoot with the air rifle, जो छर्रे वाली बंदूक होती है, or he sometimes take his kids to the field and they shoot targets and stuff just to have fun with family. He was picked during the class, a 9-10-year-old kid. जब टीचर वो पढ़ा रही थी, there were talks about guns and other things. But what happened is, this kid who didn't know anything different, उसने बोल दिया कि जी, my dad has a gun and we go and we take aim at targets and all those kind of things. The teacher picked that kid, took him to the principal. The principal called the cops. Cops went to their house to go and search for gun. What they found was a small toy gun, an air gun that the family used to shoot on targets just as a fun activity. Now imagine the same thing if a white kid is saying this. Again, मैं बार बार white और brown और इनको different बोल रहा हूँ. I personally feel sad saying this, but that's the reality. As a person of skin, me and my kids, we have to be careful on what we can and cannot say. Imagine the white kid has said the same thing. Do you think कि उसको भी इसी तरह प्रिंसिपल के ऑफिस हो जाता, पुलिस कॉल होती, उसके घर पे पुलिस आती तलाशी लेने के लिए कि उसके पास गन है या नहीं है? I'll leave this up to you to decide. इसके अलावा cultural differences. Again, great country, great culture, welcoming, सारी चीज़ें positive हैं. हर society के कुछ pros and cons होते हैं. So as there are like 90 pros about Canada, there are 10 cons as well. Cons मतलब negative things. So there are 90 positive things, there are 10 negative things for a new immigrant. In this video, that's what I'm trying to tell you, and then leave it up to you to decide, because I've made my choice. I took my kids to Pakistan for 4 years, the entire family. Everybody was saying this is like the worst decision that you're making. You can never be settled in Pakistan. तुम 15 साल से कनाडा में रह रहे हो, तुम्हारे बच्चे यहाँ पैदा हुए हैं, तुम पाकिस्तान में सेट नहीं हो सकते. But I had to make the call. And I'll tell you why I made that call. So the reason we left Canada was all these things are happening. The racism piece is happening. The cultural and religious stereotypes are happening. बार बार मैं बोलूँगा 90% things are good, but 10% are bad. And on those bad things, we have to be careful on how, as an immigrant, as a person of color, how we handle those things. So as a family in 2017, we decided कि how do we handle it? My wife and I, we had multiple conversations कि यार किस तरह समझाएं बच्चों को, right? ये सवाल करते हैं. It's tough to tell them. But we want to tell them and we don't want to tell them because we don't want them to feel different. We want them to feel like any other kid. But unfortunately, this reality of our society or our world today, unfortunately, was not in our favor. We had to tell our kids. So what we did, we decided, okay, you know what? We came here, we saw these challenges. They were different, they were tough, but because we had are brought up in a country where everybody was like us, we saw the value in our culture. We saw the positive sides of our religion. We saw the positive sides of our society. We saw the positive sides of everything we do as a person of color. And really in Pakistan, we were not really a person of color. We were the people, right? या India हो या Pakistan हो, हम सारे ही हमारे जैसे हैं. तो maybe we thought that that was the reason कि हमारी basic strong है. तो now when we come here, we understand the difference and we know how to handle it. We are not confused because one thing is understood by our brain that, okay, this is what you are, so you have no doubt in who you are. If somebody is doubting you, you know how to handle it. You know how to answer. You know how to explain. You know how to talk. But because kids ने सिर्फ यही माहौल देखा है तो उनके लिए उस चीज़ को डिफेंड करना मुश्किल हो जाता है. Because they don't know anything different. So हमने डिसाइड किया कि जी let's go to पाकिस्तान. हमने ब्रांड न्यू घर लिया हुआ था. हमने कस्टम होम बनवाया था 2017 में और इट वाज लाइक आवर फॉर एवर होम जिसको हमने कभी नहीं बेचना था. और जॉब सही चल रही थी. मैं 10 साल से सेम बैंक के साथ काम कर रहा था. तो जॉब वॉज स्टेबल. आई वॉज ड्यू फॉर अ प्रमोशन. हाउस वॉज गुड. गाड़ी वॉज गुड. लाइफ वॉज गुड. बट आई हैड टू सेक्रीफाइस ऑल दोज थिंग्स. In the summer of 2017, we decided that, you know what, it's a tough decision. If we always keep on thinking about this will never happen. So screw this, let's sell the house. So I called my realtor, we sold the house in a couple of months, sold the car, resigned from my job. There was no plan of what I'm going to do in Pakistan, but I knew that for my kids, I still at least want them to live 2 to 3 years in Pakistan, meet with their family, with their extended family, go to school in Pakistan, see other kids where there is no racism due to the color of their skin, be normal amongst the kids who are like them. In November, December of 2017, we booked our flights and we went back to Pakistan. अब उस डिसीजन पे पहले मैं आपको बताऊं कि यहाँ पे लोगों ने क्या बोला. यहाँ पे लोगों ने बोला, जो हमारा सर्कल यहाँ पे था, 6 महीने में तू वापस आ जाएगा. यू कैन नॉट लिव इन पाकिस्तान. इतना करप्शन, इतना सब कुछ वहाँ पे नेगेटिव, हालात ख़राब, सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी ऑफ द फैमिली, ऑलवेज यू आर एट रिस्क. बट ये सारी चीज़ें थी एंड आई एम नॉट एवर डिनाइंग द फैक्ट कि दिस इज़ नॉट द रियलिटी. इट इज़ रियलिटी. थिंग्स आर टफ. बट I was of the opinion कि यार whatever that is, we grew up in that country. I spent 26, 27 years in that country, right? That is our Pakistan. That is our culture. That is our roots. आज मुझे लोगों ने यहाँ तक बोला कि वहाँ इतने मच्छर होते हैं, कैसे रहेगा तू वहाँ पे. उन्हीं मच्छरों से हम साथ रह के यहाँ पे आए हैं. Not that I am ever defending कि जी मच्छर होना is a good thing, गंदगी होना is a good thing, but you should never forget your roots. So that's what that's why I was super confident कि यार no, I'll settle. बच्चे नहीं settle हो पाएंगे, बच्चों के लिए difficult है. And I understand it is difficult for kids. So when we made the decision, it was a very planned decision कि my oldest kid at that time was around 8-9 years old. अगर बच्चे teenage में आ जाए ना, 13-14 साल के हो जाएं, it will be a different story. Then they would tell you कि भैया you go, we are staying. तो 7-8-9 साल की एज ऐसी थी कि यार दिस इज द टाइम. इफ यू वांट टू मेक द डिसीजन, वी कैन टेक आवर किड्स एंड वी कैन गो टू पाकिस्तान एंड वी डोंट हैव टू, दे विल नॉट आर्ग्यू विद अस. तो वी डिसाइडेड दैट वी टुक देम टू पाकिस्तान. पहला महीना वाज जबरदस्त. थिंग्स वर लिटिल डिफरेंट फॉर अस. फॉर मी इट वाज, फॉर मी एंड माय वाइफ बोथ, इट वाज perfect. You know, we always wanted to spend more time with our family. सेम कल्चर, ओल्ड फ्रेंड्स, सारी चीज़ें हमारे बचपन वाली. तो हमारे लिए इतना चैलेंज नहीं था, बट बच्चों के लिए वॉज डिफरेंट. अगेन हमारे बच्चे उर्दू बोल लेते हैं बट इट वॉज नॉट देयर प्राइमरी लैंग्वेज. तो कम्युनिकेशन एक चैलेंज हो गया. स्कूल में उनको डाला तो दे वर अ लिटिल हेसिटेंट टू मेक न्यू फ्रेंड्स इन स्कूल. यूनिफॉर्म वाले स्कूल होते हैं प्राइवेट, वहाँ पे जितने भी हैं, तो उनके लिए वो एडजस्टमेंट वॉज अ चैलेंज. बट वहाँ पे जिस चीज़ ने सपोर्ट की वो मेरे भाई के बच्चे, कज़न्स के बच्चे, एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली, मेरे साइड की, मेरे वाइफ की साइड की, मेरे बच्चों का जो इंटरेक्शन उनसे हुआ, जो उनके कज़न्स से, थिंग्स चेंज्ड लिटरली ओवरनाइट. देन माई किड्स स्टार्टेड टू सी, ओके वहाँ के बच्चे भी रोब्लॉक्स खेलते हैं, वहाँ के बच्चे भी एक्सबॉक्स पे गेम खेल रहे हैं, प्ले स्टेशन पे गेम खेल रहे हैं. there's so many fun things to do. So then they started spending days and nights. कोई मेरे cousin के बच्चे हमारे घर आ गए, हम लोग किसी के घर चले गए रहने के लिए. So my kids started getting used to it. So life changed. Unfortunately, what happened then, COVID hit in 2020, और वो 2 साल हमारे थोड़ा plan extend हो गया. We always wanted to come back, but after we felt our kids were comfortable, we always wanted to come back. Yeah, now they know. उन्होंने 2-4 साल यहाँ पे गुजार लिए हैं. They know the culture, they know who they are, they know their cultural values, they know their religious values, they know how the society works in that part of the world. So now when we're going to take them back, तो उनकी कुछ base strong बनी हुई होगी उनकी identity की. तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो हैं ये identity crisis में I would call it as an identity crisis. तो वो आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस हमें एलिमिनेट करना था अपने बच्चों के माइंड से, जिसके लिए हमने ये डिसीजन लिया. तो अब उसका फ़ायदा क्या हुआ? उसका फ़ायदा ये हुआ कि हम जब वापस आए हैं तो माई किड्स नाउ टॉक अबाउट पाकिस्तान. दे डोंट टॉक अबाउट पाकिस्तान कि ऐसा मुल्क जहाँ से उसके पेरेंट्स बिलोंग करते हैं, बट ऐसा मुल्क जहाँ पे उसकी अपनी रूट्स हैं. तो वो 3-4 साल का जो एक्सपीरियंस था बच्चों को इज़ probably one of the best decisions of our life. So now when we are back, we always wanted to come back, as I said, they do not have the identity crisis. They understand the difference. Unfortunate, but something that kids should know today. They understand the values. If somebody says something to my now 13-year-old kid, he knows how to handle it. He understands the reasoning behind things. I don't want him to justify and defend things, but I want him to be able to defend himself, or for my daughter to defend herself. So overall, what did I lose with this decision? And what did I gain from this decision? What I lost was a stable job, a good career. At that time, I was thinking, but when I came back, things were different, so I'll tell you about that too. But at that time, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to lose my job. I don't know what I'm going to do in Pakistan. वहाँ पैसे कितने, मिलियनर तो है नहीं कि जी वहाँ पे जाके 3 साल 4 साल हम याशी करेंगे और जेब से खाएंगे. You had to do something. So that was a tough call. Second tough call was when I sold a brand new house, which I recently bought 4 months ago at that time. I sold your house. I lost money. So overall, moving cost, जो नया फर्नीचर लिया था वो बिल्कुल ही ऑलमोस्ट जंक के हिसाब से वो जल्दी जल्दी बेचना पड़ा, और घर जल्दी से बेचा, रियल्टर की फीस, ये सारी चीज़ें, मूविंग कॉस्ट, ओवरऑल ये सारी चीज़ें कॉस्टेड मी क्लोज टू $100,000. So I lost $100,000. I lost the job, but I gained so much that I think it was totally worth it, and I would recommend any parent with kids to do this. You would thank me later that this would be the best decision of your life. You gained them their identity. You gained them their confidence. You gained that family value. Up until today, I value my relationship with my cousins, with my extended family, with my puppy, with my chacha, with my taya. My kids were missing that. But in 3-4 साल जो हम पाकिस्तान में रह के आए हैं, my kids were able to build that connection. 2 हफ्ते 3 हफ्ते की छुट्टी में पाकिस्तान जाके या इंडिया जाके you cannot ever make that connection. तो वो 3-4 साल में जो connection उन्होंने बनाया है, that is going to stay with them for the rest of their lives. So that's what I gained. So if I compare lost and gain, I think the gain was so much more valuable. Other than finance, money is not everything. There's so many other things. Money, you'll earn money again. You'll find a job again. But these relationships, there's a certain age that if you are able to make connection with your extended family, you'll be happy for the rest of your life. Because that's your true family. That's somebody who will help you in the times when they're tough. That's somebody that you would help when their times are tough. So ये जो एक circle होता है of immediate family, of your family, is something that you and your kids would always value. So in the end, all I want to say is a great country, great society, great culture, very acceptable. But every society has some negatives. There are some negatives in any person of color to live in the West, where you are an immigrant. How you handle it is up to you. I've shared my experience, how we decided to handle it. And I would encourage everybody to make a decision like this for your kids and your family. Don't focus too much on money and the career. Focus on their future, your kids' future. Try and eliminate the identity crisis that they have. You'll thank me for the rest of your life. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please share this video with as many people as you possibly could. Spread the knowledge, spread the word, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.